show you a few things I throw out here in the Kissimmee grass, which helps me. I've learned from all the guys, the locals down here, from I moved down here 5 years ago, how to fish Okeechobee, but I'm still learning every day. But the frog, that spro popping frog, right there, you can get them at Garrett's Tackle Shop. Popping that thing on the grass, that's usually a big fish bait right there. They win a lot of tournaments on that down here, on that frog right there. But just throw her out and right in the middle of the grass and pop it. And some people put rattles in them and stuff, and doctor them up, move and bend the hooks out a little bit on them. It's whatever you want to do. I catch a few fish that way, plus chatterbait. I mean, chatterbait's a big thing here in Okeechobee. Throwing a chatterbait, whether it's black and blue or white, representing a shad, or they catch a lot of fish on this chatterbait, and rattle traps too. You can get them chatterbaits at Garrett's too. Something I do a little different than most people is I don't use the rubber. What we got going on here? I don't use the rubber trailer on my jig. I'm still old school, and I don't say much about it because it's kind of a hassle. You got to keep it wet. I double tail that, or skirt that, put 2 skirts on that, and then I take a Big Daddy pork rind. I've been using that since the 60s. On an old Johnson spoon, and it's a fish catcher thing. I mean, it still works, but you got to keep it in salt water though, because it'll dry out on you. And if you got it on the deck of your boat, you got to keep it wrapped up in like a wet rag. But I'm telling you, right, it seems like they'll hold on to that a little longer. And there's already a place cut in them where you could stick the hook in there. And it makes a good presentation. Let me tell you what. It's old school. You used to catch fish like a Johnson spoon years ago, and this technique right here will still catch fish right there. That's just me. I like using it. I don't like having a rubber on there because it tears them off. Short fish will rip them off and stuff. But I catch a lot of fish on that Johnson or that Uncle Josh's pork rind. They've got every color in the book now. I double skirt that, which helps it. I use the big stuff. I don't use it. They got the smaller one, 11, but I usually use the big one. You got to keep it in this salt. You got to keep it in that salt water though. Something in the air is water is choking me to death. These just little things I do. Everybody's got their own techniques, you might say. Of course, I also take a swim bait and put behind a jig. If they're hitting good, they're going to hit anything, but they'll tear that off. I mean, if they're not grabbing a hold of it real good, that pork rind won't tear off, but they'll tear that off. But still, that'll work. Something I do a little different. Everybody uses Senkos down here. But, I'll hook the Senko. I'll hook this Senko in the back. The tail like that. Go right down like that. Just enough to, shove her up on there. Of course, keep it as straight as possible. And then in this grass, instead of having the weight in the front, take a lead weight, hook it in the back of it. And you can even put a rattle in here, a little small rattle in here, kind of give it a little more. I'll put that lead weight right in the back of it, like that right there. You get on hard bottom, and that lead gets down there and hits the bottom, kind of just tick. I personally think it's an attractor. That's how I do it. I throw it right down in the middle of stuff. I mean, it's weedless. Instead of going down, like the old bait. And the only thing I've found in this, doing it like this, with the weight, you just got to kind of let them go with it just for a second. Works for me. I don't know. I suppose everybody else might have their own way, but that's how I like to do that in wacky style. Lead in the back end of it and then hook in the front. Oh, Winnie. You listening to me, Winnie dog? Now, this is early in the morning when I first get started fishing. I threw that magic spinner. I'll show you what I do to it. Kind of doctor it up a little bit. Where's she at? Right here. Man, I've got a pile of fish on this baits this year. And I won some money with it. Just these small tournaments, I won some money with this spinner bait. It goes through the grass so good. Like that. But what I do, I just tie this on. And I kind of doctor it up a little bit. So I take I like a silver, white. I bought these at the Garrett's this morning. Mr. Garrett, or Mr. Caleb gave them to me. They got a little bit of silver in them, a little bit of flash. I double skirt it. This is a must to me because it helps it get through the grass a little bit and it doesn't affect the hooking of it at all. It don't, it's still, I just take it and put that other skirt, open her up here a little bit. There we go. Wind's blowing out here this morning. I double skirt that. I don't know where my scissors are. I don't know what I've done with them. I left them at the shop. But I'll cut that off right there. I'll cut them double skirts off. Right at the end of the hook, I'll cut that off. Right there. I mean, I'll make it a kind of a compact little, profile like a small. And then this is another deal right here. These DOA swim baits that Garrett's got there at the tackle shop. You can't beat them. They're tough too. You can throw them things, catch a lot of fish on them, and not have to worry about tearing them up. Now other baits, other swim baits stuff, they tear them in two, but not this DOA at the Garrett's tackle shop. They're really tough. Put that on there and shove it all the way up. Right there. You see that little tail of the, man, that thing just goes 100 miles an hour out there, and that kind of tracks them as far as I'm concerned. But then this thing's bad about when you're throwing it, it'll wrap around here. If it wraps around here, it's going to get hung up in that grass. And what I do is I'll tie several knots right in front of it, and then I'll take super glue and put on that knot and make it firm come out here. So it'll, that sticks out where it's not wrapping around there as bad. Man, I've caught a lot of fish on that thing this summer. If you're out and about and you're down here in Okeechobee, you need to stop at Garrett's Tackle Shop and pick you up a couple of these spinner baits, because when they're in the grass out here like this, and you throw that thing first thing in the morning, that's set up like I got two tails, cut it off right at the back, get some of them DOA swim baits. I think this is called salt and pepper. It's clear, but it's got a lot of sparkle in it, blue, and when the sun hits it, you can't see it, but when the sun hits it, it kind of reflects and flashes. And on top of that, the size of them blades they put on there, they're just about the size of a shad. This is like a little school shad. They're not good big blades, but telling you, this something about the way this spinnerbait catches fish, especially in the grass. I'm telling you, especially in the grass here in Okeechobee. You can pick these up. They've sold out of them several times because the word's out on them, how they catch fish, and they'll pull right through the grass. I mean, as long as you put them 2 tails on there, buy them extra tail put on there, it'll pull right through that grass. Of course, the old go-tos, the speed worms, swim worms. I throw those, and I like a watermelon red. I like black and blue. I like the plum, June bug, sunfish. Zoom makes a good one, I think. I think Zoom makes a good one. I throw the mega one. You can throw the small one, it'll catch fish too. I mean, I throw the big one when I'm fishing a tournament But the old Big Easy right here, these things right here, these will catch fish down here too, I'm telling you. You can use about any color, it don't make any difference. Blue, red, orange, green, yellow, white, it don't matter. Just plop that through the grass. You can stop and get them at Garrett's Tackle Shop too. It's easy to throw through. This is another thing that's easy to throw in there. And they use the bigger one you're going to usually catch bigger fish, because the smaller fish will grab here by where the joint is. You're not going to catch them. That's all right, but I like catching fish, so I don't throw this great big one a lot, because the small ones will not get that, and I like just catching fish. I like catching big fish, but if you just want to go out here and catch fish on this Kissimmee grass, first thing in the morning, stop and get you one of these spinners at Garrett's Tackle Shop, these magic spinners, and double tail it, or double skirt it. That's another trick. It just kind of helps to keep that, kind of like a weaver, but when they chop down through that, they're going to be on there. Uncle Josh. Old school, been using this since the 60s. I took Mr. Richard out with me some this year. He's sewing that Johnson spoon with a trailer. He was tearing them up with that Johnson spoon. So the Johnson spoon still works too. You can throw that Johnson spoon in the grass. Anyhow, that's how I do it, and that's how you do it. Is that how you do it too? That's how she does it too. I'm telling you. Right. What do you want? Treat. Okay. All right, Winnie Dog. Good job. Over and.